Today I'm making chile con carne, or pepper with meat. While in Mexico, I decided to try out a recipe for chile con carne from the 1906 cookbook, 101 Mexican Dishes. Meaty, hearty, and saucy, chile con carne is a bit like a Mexican version of chili. This recipe is very general in what kind of peppers to use and seasoning amounts, but it reminded me of a recipe for asado de puerco, which roughly translates to roasted pork. I'll be sharing a recipe for that at some point too. You can turn on subtitles by pressing the CC button, or check out the full list of ingredients in the video description. As mentioned previously, the original recipe is a tad vague, so these are the ingredients and amounts I chose to use for a tripled recipe. 15 dried peppers. I assume they might be referring to Wagyu peppers. These don't have much spice, they're mostly for flavor and color. About 3 pounds of pork shoulder, cut into chunks. 3 cloves of garlic. 3 tablespoons of lard, butter, oil, shortening, or whatever you have on hand. 6 cloves. Salt and pepper to taste. And 3 tomatoes. To begin, we're filling a teeny tiny pot with water with which to boil our tomatoes in. Into the hot tub they go, one after the other. It's a perfect fit. Bring to a boil and cook through, about 10 minutes. Then, drain and set aside to cool while we begin working with our peppers. I'm using scissors to cut the stem off. Then, cut a slit down the side to reveal its seedy interior. Most of them should just fall out. Remove any veins and leftover seeds stuck to the inside, and set aside. Once you've processed all of your dried Guajillo peppers, we're going to rehydrate them by adding them to a pot of boiling water and letting them soak. Set this hot pot aside on a heat-resistant surface, and we will move on to the pork. First, let's add some water to a pot, preferably not preheating it ahead of time. Now add the fresh pork chunks to the pot. We are going to bring the water to a boil and only parboil or partially cook the meat. With this small electric stove, this took about 20 to 25 minutes. It may not look very appealing at this point, but have faith, it will get better. Being away from home and limited on my cookware, I'm transferring the pork and its cooking liquid to another vessel so that I can reuse this pot later. This has been more than enough time for our Guajillo peppers to soak and rehydrate. Depending on how fresh your dried peppers are, you'll either get a more vibrant red like this, or a deeper maroon color. Next, we'll be making our sauce. Into a molcajete, we're adding a pepper and pounding to a pulp. It's best to just take it slowly and enjoy the process. Moving the tejolote around in a circle also helps to grind and break down the pepper flesh. When working with dried pepper, I'd recommend wearing gloves to avoid staining your digits. Once the pepper has been well ground, add some black pepper, a little garlic, and cloves, and continue pounding until well distributed. Now add in the tomato, and if you can manage, squish it in, and pulverize it as well, until a nice sauce begins to form. Now that we've seen the traditional way to make this, let's time travel a couple decades to get a blender and save us some work. Add the rest of the peppers, tomatoes, garlic, and cloves into the blender, and blend until smooth. Now back into a large pot, let's add some lard, or the shortening of your choice, and heat until hot and liquid. Let's try this. Pour the sauce into the hot lard, and fry a few minutes until warm and cooked through. Then, add the meat into the sauce. Mix it in, and add some unspecified amount of the liquid in which the pork was boiled in. Maybe a quarter cup. Mixing again to combine before covering and simmering until rather thick. I let this cook about 45 minutes while doing some cleanup. I chose to wait until everything was cooked to salt the sauce, so I could safely taste it. Season to your liking and mix it in. If you accidentally overdid it, just add a little more of that pork boiling liquid. But that's all there is to this recipe. We're done. This is quite an easy recipe to make and fairly simple in terms of ingredients, most of which you may already have on hand. This chile con carne looks beautiful and vibrant with the red color of the peppers truly shining. The smell is fantastic. That vibrant red pepper and tomato sauce smell from before has only gotten better with the addition of the pork, bringing some added meaty depth to the flavor. Served with some refried beans and warm tortillas, this makes a delicious traditional meal. Spoon some of your beans and meat into a tortilla and enjoy it in taco form. If you have some nice spicy salsa, add that in too. The zucchini salsa I made with my trompo tacos would pair perfectly with these. And this chile con carne tastes great. It's not spicy at all, but the pepper's flavor really shines through. It's fruity and smoky from the pepper, garlicky, and has a little bit of almost sweetness from the cloves. Great for hot weather or cold. This definitely makes for yet another perfect cool weather comfort meal. I highly recommend giving this one a try. If you do, share a picture on Instagram and tag me at Michael with 4 H's. And if you enjoyed this video or interesting vintage recipes, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and check out my vintage recipes playlist. I upload a vintage recipe the first Thursday of every month. If you'd like to watch another video, you can click the card over on the right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. And I hope to see you all next Thursday.